Hello everybody. Welcome to my March bullet journal. This one is titled My Rococo Romance. So this was inspired by the Rococo period in France, and that time period is like full of very ornate and flowery things just for the sake of them being there, like no purpose, nothing at all. They were just there for the sake of being there. Like just think of like beautiful things like just filled with like ribbon and pearls and frills and flourishes just for the sake of them being there. I really like this time period, at least in terms of like clothing and stickers and stuff like that. Now, I'm not sure if I could walk around and all that, but hey, it's pretty to look at. And I think that's all that matters. So I took a little bit of that I took a little bit of that for inspiration and put it into my bullet journal. So I had my children help me out with some of the stickers, and you can see some of that here. And with that, let's just get into it. These are all the stickers that I'm going to be using this month. Very husband inspired, very love inspired. Maybe I should have did this last month, but it didn't hit me last month, it hit me this month. This month I'm doing something different for my cover page. So instead of doing the normal drawing something, coloring in and this and other, and I love doing that kind of stuff, but instead of doing that this month I decided to go for something just a little bit different. So I'm going to cut this front page out, and then I'm going to dry emboss some vellum, and then I'm going to heat emboss it. Now this is very hard to do with vellum. Vellum is not a very easy paper to work with. It's thin, it's translucent, and you can burn it with a heat gun very easily, and you can tear it with an embossing folder very easily. So you got to be careful with it. You got to treat it nice. It'll treat you nicely. But as with anything that's ornate and frilly and pretty, it does what it wants to do when it wants to do it, and you just got to work with it. So now I'm going to put this in my Spellbinder, and that's going to press the plates together and dry emboss this paper. And I'm going to get the design that was on the embossing folder. It's going to be really nice. The paper that I cut out was larger than my embossing folder. However, that's not necessarily bad. It did leave just enough space for me to be able to glue this in on the side, and then just enough space on the bottom to be able to heat emboss the month up there. So definitely two different forms of embossing going on. And right now what you see me doing is using my tape roller to put that in there. And then I'm going to take the smooth edge that's also on the side of the embossed paper, and I'm going to put it in there. So I already cut the page out. I'm going to attach it there, and that's going to be my March cover page. Now I'm using my embossing ink and my embossing powder to put March down, and I take out a heat gun to heat that powder up and melt it, and it makes the word March. So I'll show you that in a little bit. Now I am putting together my little scrapbook page for, I guess, the secondary cover sheet. Like, I didn't want to go straight into my month because you'd be able to see it through the actual cover page. So I wanted to put something behind it. So this page is also dedicated to my husband, and, just love in general. At a later date this month, I will probably go through here and add some real life pictures of him, and so all these pictures will serve to be just the background. I'm also thinking about going in here with some Mod Podge with the page just to make sure that the pictures stay preserved, because I don't want the ink to get like torn off or rubbed off over time. I'm still thinking about it though, we'll see. And now for the monthly calendar. So the monthly calendar I did this month is only different in design. If there is one spread that I do every month, it's going to be this one. It's just the most useful one. So this font that I found I found it on Google somewhere. I'm pretty sure I just typed in like pretty fonts or something like that and saw this one. So I think I really did like how all of the letters in this were done. It's like I'm probably going to use this more than once. Like I'm very sure I'll probably be using this like in future monthly spreads. And I'm gonna color it. So I only used two colors this month. This very, very, very light pink and this very light purple. and then I'm going to blend. This month it is heavy on the blending and turning one color into a different color. I felt like these two colors themselves were very dreamy and kind of went with the Rococo vibe. And when you don't have like a whole lot of colors, you concentrate on the flourish without taking away too much because of the color. And now that I have all that colored in, I'm just going to go ahead and put the dates in there. So nothing special, just the dates. I feel like the most special thing I did was color the sides instead of coloring on top of the number boxes like I normally do. And now I'm going to add in some stickers. Now I will tell you I messed up because I added 2 extra boxes when I didn't need them, so I'm just going to cover that up with stickers. So, happy little accidents. I like to add this little coming up down here because it helps me with planning for the next month to make sure things flow from one month to the other. Like I would hate to have something that was happening in April and I don't have my April calendar set up, so now I have to write it down in March so that I can make sure that I have it there for April and I don't forget. So that's what I like to use that little space for. That, and if there are anything going on in my life or anything going on that I think I might want to remember a couple of months from now, I'll put it there too. I so wish that in doing these letters that I could make the S look a little bit more curvy and not like deformed. Something about the back end of the S just isn't doing it for me. However, it comes with practice, and like I tell my kids, you're not gonna get better without practice. And then what do? Don't practice. Anyway, here's one of the bigger stickers from the sticker pack that I printed out. I really like this whole sticker pack was given a whole mood. So definitely using it to decorate this page. I didn't really have anything in particular that I wanted to do with the spread except for have another spread be in existence. I figured that I could doodle in here. I put the word soiree in here just on, for kicks and giggles. I got a lot of stuff going on in March, but it'll probably just be a journaling page. Every page doesn't need structure or a rhyme and a reason. Sometimes you just want to draw. So now let's do my first weekly for the month. So I wanted to do something slightly different from what I've been doing. So I actually drew in a bunch of flourishes. I had to get on Pinterest and find like a bunch of tutorials on how to draw flourishes because someone like me who is not naturally an artist and I have to put in some effort to, like at this stage, like the artist won't artisan for me, so I had to go figure it out and draw it in. So hopefully you like it because I know I do, and I'm the one who's got to look at this. So I'm drawing in the days of the week using the font that I already used earlier. This is just gonna be the font for the month. Now we're getting to the flourishes. So I drew these with pencil, and then I came back in and drew these with my pen. When it comes to drawing these flourishes, something that I found is that I didn't have to force the direction of these. Everything easily flowed into the direction that I went to. So, for example, I made sure that the vine in and of itself was just one strong vine, and it did its like little wavy sign thing. And with all the leaves and the curls that came off of it, they just naturally came off of it and curled back. I didn't try to force anything. I didn't have to cross any lines anywhere. And I think because of that, it made it look a little bit more natural, and it felt a little bit more natural for me drawing this. And so, gotta draw my little mini calendar. So now that you've watched pretty much this whole video, right before we get into the final flip through, I just wanted to give you the most sincere thanks. My page has gotten to over 100 followers, and I didn't think I'd ever get to, to 100. I mean, 100 random people on the internet like my content. Man, sometimes I don't even like my own art, but y'all subscribe, and I appreciate it. So I can't wait to get back on here with y'all. Hopefully it won't take too long. I know this is really late for the month of March. I actually had this done before March started. My issue was being able to do the voiceover and finding time to do it. So if you're still here, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you again next month.